Did I get that on? Okay. Alright. Well, hello again, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, and even good evening to some who happen to view this. I'm sorry I can't be there tonight for the Shakira Gerard Butler episode of SNL. But I say hello to all my friends over at SNL, both standby and connected, as well as to my non-SNL friends out there. Hello again. Just kind of giving you a little quick thing here. Doing kind of a video diary of sorts that I want to kind of do for SNL every week, and starting with the last 3 weeks of the show. Starting with the season premiere of, now I've been to all 3 of them, just to kind of give you a little brush up. So, from a little perspective of somebody who was in the studio there for 2 dress rehearsals and 1 live show, this will provide it, and hopefully I'll provide this every week that they happen to have a show. Whether I make it in or not, you'll have a diary, and you'll get to see a little recap scene here. So, starting with the first week with Megan Fox and U2. And all I could say is that it was good to see that Don Pardo is back with the show. Still with the show, thank God. Daryl Hammond was not in the credits for SNL, but it seems to be that he's on an occasional basis making an appearance on there. And Megan Fox was a good host. The material was a little bit, it's season premiere, unless you have something that's pretty mind-blowing, it's usually average, and this was basically an average episode. One thing that made it a little more than average was U2. U2 did 3 songs in our studio, 3 songs that they did, and 1 they repeated from earlier in the performance set, but they were just amazing. Just to hear that edge guitar in Studio 8H was just something. And it was nice because there was a little moment when one of the the digital shorts happened to be on, and Adam from U2 happened to come over to his place with the guitar, and he was just kind of observing, the digital video, just like sitting there right before he's about to kind of warm up and get ready for the rest of his band to be coming in there. It truly was, some of those little moments that happen to be great when you happen to be in Studio 8H. Just the stuff to really appreciate every single time you're there. So there was that. And, speaking of, being there at the moment, that was pretty apparent during the live show of Ryan Reynolds and Lady Gaga. Ryan had this confidence in him that was just amazing. Like, surprised that this guy wasn't a cast member returning to the show to host, because he just had everything down. It's just really something, just very pro, very good. And a lot of, it was certainly an improvement over the first week, for sure. And Lady Gaga provided 2 marvelous performances in the studio, one of which was the first one. And it was a great performance, but the funny thing was that there were sparklers in the background and this one kind of mini fireball that happened right in front of the camera at the end of the first performance. So much so that there was smoke in the studio. Luckily no sprinklers got let off, but they certainly had to fan a lot of smoke out while Weekend Update was going on. So for about a quarter of Weekend Update, it had a bit of smoke. You couldn't tell that from the television, but you actually could see it there. So it was that. And then Lady Gaga did a second performance along with some very good sketches before that. Lady Gaga did a second performance, and it's the kind of stuff that makes Saturday Night Live Saturday Night Live. Everything was happening on the moment. It was unpredictable. Not much was known, and just with that one contraption, it provided for 2 weeks of bringing something to say like, whoa, U2 also had it with this very special suit that Bono had on that lit up with this neon mic. It was just amazing. Then we got to, and so basically that provided an improvement over week 1, which brings us to week 3, which was last week, of Drew Barrymore and Regina Spektor. And Regina did 2 marvelous performances in the studio. It sounded just right down the line. I said if anybody wasn't a fan of her before or heard of her before, they certainly would hear of her, as they went 3 for 3 with their musical performances. And Drew always provides to be a very good guest, and the material was pretty good, and looking back at it, it was good. They had one sketch, I was at the dress rehearsal, and they had one sketch that got cut that happened to do with the film community coming out for Roman Polanski. And it was pretty comical, especially Jason Sudeikis was a standout as David Lynch, who he just had the hair and just said nothing. He was just more like, just totally, lineless. And they did this one like mini film that David Lynch did, for Robert Polanski. It was pretty comical. So for those 3 episodes, they provided, I think, a start that I said this is once again another hopeful season for SNL. They had a marvelous one last season, and it looks like hopefully if things continue that there is no sign of stopping, and hopefully things will continue. And as for the 3 that I made it into, it provides once again a rewarding experience at SNL, as it does all the time when you make it into that studio. And I recommend to anybody, give it a shot, especially when there's a week when the show is going on. Give it a chance to do standby, because if you make it into that studio, prepare yourself. It's just an unbelievable sight. And it's amazing because at the show, some other people have popped up that I haven't got the chance to meet, like Simon Pegg, Martin Short, Jeff Foxworthy. People that you normally would not expect to be at the show that happened to pop up, at the show. And it was just a kick to actually meet them. And they were just wonderful people, as the cast members are as well, as they are every week. And to anybody who is a cast member, or even a non-cast member, or cast members that happen to look at this here on Manhattan Frolics, hello, how you doing? Solid season, and keep it up. Yeah, and that's one thing I can never argue about, is the cast is always given 110% every week. So for a perspective on the first 3 weeks, it's been terrific. It's been wonderful. And let's see what happens with this one. It kind of breaking myself a little bit that I'm not going to be at the Shakira Gerard Butler episode, but we'll see how it's going to turn out. We'll do a little recap on that in a future entry. And I will be back in November in a big way. So I'm looking forward to doing that. But until that time, that's it for this entry. So to all my SNL friends, ta-ta. And for all my non-SNL friends, you guys are wonderful. I love the fact that you're viewing on this channel. There's always a lot of views here, and I really appreciate every little bit of it, as I do with all my dear friends and all my dear people, whether it's SNL related or non-SNL related. So, in that note, have a good one. Take care, and see you soon.